Hello everyone. So today we will have another topic to discuss, which is one of the statistical tools that we can use to test the relationship between two variables, which is under correlation. It is the Spearman's rank order correlation. So if your data are ranked variables or ordinal variables, we will be using this statistical tool. So what is a Spearman's rank order correlation? The definition is Spearman's rank order correlation, or sometimes we call it as Spearman rho, is the non-parametric version of the Pearson product moment correlation. It is denoted by this Greek letter. So this Greek letter class, we call it as rho. Okay? Kaya tinawag siyang Spearman rho. Kasi because of the symbol that represent with this statistical tool. It is used to determine the relationship of two variables expressed as ordinal data. So if your variables is an ordinal data, we have actually ordinal, of interval, ratio, nominal. So these are some basic terms that we need to remember when we talk about statistics kasi. Okay? So, dapat in here for Spearman rank, our variables should express as ordinal order. Kaya tinawag na Spearman rank order. And Spearman's correlation determines the strength and direction of the monotonic relationship between your two variables. So, unlike sa linear, sa Pearson product moment correlation class, it determines the strength and direction of the linear relationship between two variables, but for the Spearman, it determines the strength and direction of the monotonic. Okay? If for Pearson, linear relationship, for Spearman, it is the monotonic relationship between two variables. So what does this monotonic relationship means? Okay, so this is an example of the scatter plot graph of a monotonic relationship. So what is a monotonic relationship? A monotonic relationship class is a relationship that does not or does one of the following. So parang same lang din sila ng Pearson. So as the value of one variable increases, so thus the value of the other variable increases also. Or as the value of one variable increases, the other variable decreases also. But the difference in here, class, is that if you will go back with my lecture video on the Pearson product moment correlation about the linear relationship there, of the graph of the linear relationship there, you can see the direction of the points on the scatter plot wherein it leads to parang, di ba may line doon na as in these points are dikit or masyadong dikit-dikit sila, malapit sila sa line or malayo sa line wherein they have different interpretation. For monotonic kasi class, the variables tend to move in the same relative direction. Okay? But not necessarily at a constant rate. Kung mapapansin nyo dito, in here, ayan. So, this is a monotonic relationship. And this is also a monotonic relationship. This is a non-monotonic relationship. Kung mapapansin nyo, pataas ito, pero not in, from the linear relationship kasi, from the word line. Pero ito kasi, meron tayong, same yung direction natin, pero hindi parehas yung, hindi constant yung rate natin. Okay? Medyo, paano ito, tapos may pa-curve, ganyan. But for linear, pag ganito kasi, diretso siya as inline yung direction ng mga points natin. So, that is the difference between the monotonic and the linear relationship. For Pearson, that is linear. For Spearman, it is a monotonic relationship. So we have also interpretation for Spearman class. So the Spearman correlation coefficient class can take values from +1 to -1, which is the same with the Pearson. Wherein if our A is +1, it indicates a perfect association of ranks or perfect positive correlation kapag eksaktong 1 yung value ng Spearman natin. But if it is 0, of course, it indicates no association between ranks or zero correlation. And for if our value of rho is -1, then it indicates a perfect negative association of ranks. Pag eksaktong -1. But of course, we have different not always na lumalabas itong mga to, itong 1, 0, and -1. We have in between nila. Yun yung mga possible na lumalabas. Wherein the interpretation for Spearman rank order class is the same with the Pearson. Kasi, as you can see, the same sila ng yung interpretation or yung 1, 0, -1 natin, yung interpretation. So, the closer rho is to 0, the weaker the association between ranks. Okay? So, the formula that we will be using for the Spearman rho is this one. We have this formula wherein rho is equal to 1 minus 6 times the summation of the difference, square of the difference, all over n cubed minus n. So, if you want to search this Spearman, may makikita kayong formula wherein the denominator in here, this one is n times n squared minus 1, which is, if you will to simplify, parehas lang malalabas na n cubed minus n. Wherein, our d is a difference of paired ranks. Our d squared is the square of each difference. Our summation of d squared is the sum of the square of difference. And our n is the number of paired data. So that is the formula. Now let's apply this formula for an example. An example. So given this course in mathematics and English, rank this course and use Spearman's rho to compute for the correlation coefficient. So as flash from the screen, so I already ranked the scores. Tapos kinuha ko na rin yung difference. So let me explain this table. So we have this course in math and this course in English. So how many scores do we have? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So the value of our n is 10. Okay? Then for English, we have for math, we have 35, 64, 45, 30, 28, 60, 44, 50, 39, 67. For English, we have 38, 78, 49, 26, 59, 54, 33, 70, 35, 45. So these are the given data. So first, we need to rank the data. So, irarank natin yung score sa math, irarank din natin yung score sa English. So, it's up to you if your ranking is from highest to lowest or lowest to highest. Wherein, highest will be your first or lowest will be your first. So, it's up to you. So, in here, lowest to highest yung ranking niya. Wherein, the lowest will be your number 1 and the highest will be the last rank. So, for the scores in math, so we have first is 28, second is 30, third is 35, fourth is 39, fifth is 44, sixth is 45, seventh is 50, eighth is 60, ninth is 64, and the last one is 67. While for the English, first is we have 26, second is 33, third is 35, fourth is 38, fifth is 45, 6th is 49, 7th is 54, 8th is 59, 9th is 70, and the last one is 78. Okay, for the D square, D muna tayo. D is the difference. So, 3 minus 1, 3 minus 4 is negative 1. 9 minus 10 is negative 1. 6 minus 6 is 0. 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 minus 8 is negative 1. D is the difference of the ranking class, ha? 8 minus 7 is 1. 5 minus 2 is 3. 7 minus 9 is negative 2. 4 minus 3 is 1. 10 minus 5 is 5. Then we squared our D. So negative 1 squared is 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. 0 squared is 0. 1 squared is 1. Negative 7 squared is 49. 1 squared is 1. 3 squared is 9. Negative 2 squared is 4. 1 squared is 1. And 5 squared is 25. And if we get the summation of the D squared, so we add all these data in here from this column, then we get the sum of 92. Okay. Let's see if kung same ang makukuha natin na 92 if we will be using our ranking is that from highest to lowest naman tayo. Wherein the number 1 is the highest and the lowest will be the last. So for this one, our first is for math, we change the color. 67. Second is 64. Third is 60. Fourth is 50. Fifth is 45. Sixth is 44. Seventh is 39. Eighth is 35. Ninth is 30. Then our last one is the 28. And for the English, our first is 78. Second is 70. Third is 59. Fourth is 54. Fifth is 49. Sixth is 45. Seventh is 38. Eighth is 35. Ninth is 33. And the last one is 26. Then we get the difference. So 8 minus 7 is 1. Then 1 squared is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 squared is 1. 5 minus 5 is 0. So 0 squared is 0. 9 minus 10 is negative 1. So negative 1 squared is 1. 10 minus 3 is 7. That is 49. 3 minus 4 is 1. 1. 6 minus 9 is negative 3. So 9. 4 minus 2 is 2. Is 4 square. 2 square is 4. 7 minus 8 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. And 1 minus 6 is negative 5. Negative 5 squared is 25. Okay. So, same pa lang din yung same lang yung nakuha natin. So, the summation of D squared is 92. Okay? Parehas lang sila. So, remember this, kakailanganin natin itong summation of D squared, which is 92, and so with the value of our n. So, we will now substitute this value that we get to our formula. So, our formula now is here. Then, our summation of D squared is 92. Then, our n is 10. So, 6 times 92 is we have 502. All over 10 cubed minus 10 is 990. Then, we need to simplify first the fraction in here. So, 552 divided by 990 is we get this decimal. Or you can also, this one, pwede ring 990. Pwede ring 990 minus 552 divided by 990. Yan. You get the LCD. So, the LCD of 1 and this fraction is 990. Then, so 1 minus the answer in here, this fraction, the answer. So 1 minus this fraction, the answer from that fraction is this decimal, and we get the value of Spearman is approximately 0.44. Okay? Approximately, bakit? Kasi hindi naman eksakto yung kinuha natin. Na-ground up tayo. I think na-ground up or na-ground down tayo dito. That's why approximately 0.44. So, the correlation coefficient is 0.44, which is a low positive correlation. Okay, mababa lang yung nakuha natin, 0.44. Okay. So, that is how we use the formula for Spearman. Medyo mas madali lang siya ng onte, unlike sa Pearson. Next example. Yeah. Another example is, in a contest of Mr. Campus' personality, 2 judges gave their ratings to 8 candidates. Transform the ratings to rank and compute the coefficient rank correlation. Then, interpret the result. Okay, so we have candidates, so we have 8 candidates. So, therefore, the value of our n is 8. Okay, okay. So, in here, for the first candidate, Judge 1 gave 98 and Judge 2 gave 94. For the second candidate, Judge 1 gave 97 and so with Judge 2. For the candidate number 3, Judge 1 gave 95 and Judge 2 gave 98. For candidate number 4, 90 for Judge 1, 95 for Judge 2. For candidate number 5, 89 give by Judge 1 and 92 give by Judge 2. For candidate number 6, 88 give by Judge 2 and 90 give by Judge 1 and 90 give by Judge 2. For candidate 7, 85 was given by Judge 1 and 89 given by Judge 2, and candidate number 8, the same yung score ni Judge 1 at ni Judge 2. Okay, so we have 8 candidates for Mr. Campus' personality. So, we rank now for the scores of Judge 1 to the 8 candidates, wherein you can see class, yung ranking niya is from top, pinakamataas. Okay? Pinakamataas yung ranking niya, yung first niya. So, first, para sa kanyang first niya is si candidate number 1, second niya si candidate number 2, third niya si candidate number 3, fourth niya si candidate number 4, fifth niya si candidate number 5, sixth niya si candidate number 6, and parehas yung score ni 7 and 8. Kaya meron tayong 7.5 tsaka 8, 7.5. Bakit hindi pwedeng 7 at 8 yan, ma'am? Hindi pwede class kasi parehas yung score ni 7 and 8. Paano nangyari yung 7.5? That is, di ba, this one should be 7 and 8. So, we add the 8 and 7. That will give us 15 divided by 2. That will give us 7.5. Right? So, 7.5 plus 7.5, we get 15. That's why, since nagtay yung 7 and 8 natin, so their rank is 7.5. Okay. For the ranking of Judge 2, first niya si candidate number 3, second niya si candidate number 2, third niya si candidate number 4, fourth niya si candidate number 1, fifth niya si candidate number 5, sixth niya si candidate number 6, seventh niya si candidate number 7, and 8 niya si candidate number 8. Kung mapapansin nyo, class, parang dito lang sa 1, 2, 3, 4, nagkatalo yung ano, di ba? Nagkatalo yung ranking ng dalawang judge. So, let's have the difference now of the scores of the, the rank of the scores of the judges between Judge 1 and Judge 2. So, 1 minus 4 is negative 3, 2 minus 2 is 0, 3 minus 1 is 2, 4 minus 3 is 1, 5 minus 5 is 0, 6 minus 6 is 0, 7.5 minus 7 is 0.5, 7.5 minus 8 is negative 0.5. Then we get 3 squared, 3 squared is 9, 0 squared is 0, 2 squared is 4, 1 squared is 1, 0 squared is 0, 0 squared is 0, 0.5 squared is 0.25, negative 0.5 is squared is 0.25. And if we get the sum of this squared, we get 14.5. Now we substitute the 14.5 and 8 to the formula. Okay, so we have this formula again. So 14.5 times 6 is 87. 8 cubed minus 8 is 504. Then, so 1 minus 87 divided by 504, it will give us the approximately 0.83. Wherein 0.83 indicates a um, positive, very high positive correlation if you will go back with the interpretation of the person. Yun ang gagamitin natin. Which means those who receive high rank from the first judge are also the candidates who receive the same high ranks from the second judge. Diba? Yung sabi ko kanina, dun lang sila nagkakatalo yung apat, yung first four candidates. Similarly, those candidates who were ranked low by the first judge were also ranked low by the other judge. Tama, di ba? Kung sino, pareha sila ng mga nasa mababa yung score. So this means, class, that the ranking of the two judges have a very high degree of agreement. So nag-a-agree silang dalawa. Same sila. Which is, this implies that they have the same taste. Okay? So the selection for the campus, Mr. Campus personality have more or less the same taste. The same taste yung judge. Kung sino ang bet nilang dalawa. Okay? So, kung sino yung gusto nilang, di ba doon nga, sa apat na first four candidates, nagkatalo lang yung scoring ng dalawa. So, yan. So, that is the interpretation for the second example. So, that is how we use for the Spearman rank order correlation coefficient if our two variables are ordinal data in order. Okay? So, yan. That ends our discussion for today about the Spearman rank order correlation. Thank you for watching. God bless everyone. Bye-bye. See you for our next lecture again.